Thanks, Martin.
All right, good evening and welcome to the July 23rd, 2019 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer and a moment of thanks for our individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Mrs. Russell? Here. Mayor Cole?
Here. There are no presentations scheduled for this evening. Are there any reports and comments from volunteers serving our community?
That means you, Frank.
Next on the agenda is public comment. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period of public comment is reserved for later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized. Come to the microphone, provide your name and address for the record. Peter? Seeing none. Mr. Brewer, the manager's report is next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quickly from last meeting, there was a question from council regarding what the 2019 supplemental municipal alliance funds were to be used for. I spoke with the municipal alliance coordinator, and she informed me that the additional $3,000, there's $2,000 of grant money plus $1,000 of required cash match would be used for community education on substances and prevention. Translation, most likely it's going to be some educational programs that have to be done before the end of the calendar year. They have to be done in 2019. So the Alliance and the coalition are working on putting together some ideas for that. I'd like to congratulate the Township of Pequannock. The Township of Pequannock was awarded 2 grants from the Morris County Historic Preservation Trust Fund for the Martin Berry House. So we received a grant for construction phase 2 and construction documents for phase 3. The total amount that the county provided was $344,832 for interior restoration. Wow. And $18,560 for construction documents. Keep in mind that's 80%. There's another 20% cash match from the township. So as previously reported, we did not award the bid for construction phase 1. We're working with the architect to merge phases 1 and 2, hopefully take advantage of the economy of scale and go out and get everything done within the prescribed budgets. The last item within my report is scheduled for the discussion item later this evening, so that, unless there's any questions, my full report.
Any questions? No? Yep. There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening. There are no ordinances scheduled for introduction at this time. Next on the agenda is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2019-153, approving the corrective action plan for the 2018 municipal audit. 2019-154, authorizing the purchase and installation of a new digital message center by Daktronics, Inc. at Fire Company 1, located at 30 Jackson Avenue, through the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System, formerly the Middlesex Regional Educational Services Commission. 2019-155, authorizing the purchase and installation of a new digital message center by Daktronics, Inc. at Fire Company 2, located at 24 Oak Avenue, through the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Pricing System. 2019-156, approving change order number 1 for the Jacksonville Road Sidewalk Replacement Project, increasing the contract with Vector Corporation Incorporated of Monroe Township, New Jersey by $11,970.60 to a revised contract price of $222,200.60. 2019-157, authorizing release of refundable permit bonds. 2019-158, approving the payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the July 19th, 2018 2018 bill list, and the July 19th, 2019, 2015, and 2016 FEMA elevation escrow lists.
Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
I have a question. How long is it going to take to get those electronic signs once we pass these resolutions?
My understanding is that staff has been working with the fire departments to make sure the design is what's amenable to everybody. So once the resolution is put in tonight, the purchase order will be cut, and the exact time frame, I can't give you exact, but shortly.
Are they identical?
Very similar.
Why wouldn't they be identical?
Because one says Pumpkin Plains Company 1, Pequannock Company 2.
Close enough to me.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, they're the same price.
The same price, the same components.
With the exception of the different language above, they are
Different names,
identical.
that's it, that's the difference.
That's all I
Do you
wanted to
think,
hear.
for the benefit of the audience, there's only one person, but there
The viewing
is-
public.
There is the public. Do you want to, I mean, this has been in the works for a while. Do you want to just mention why we're doing?
There's been a multi-year discussion of having signs outside of the fire companies, and, the idea is to promote messages and explain things, and having things on the north and south end be done with equity always makes it a little bit easier, so.
And the only other comment I have, or question, again, for the public's, just so they know, the change orders on the Jacksonville sidewalk improvements, those were just for some of the driveways and drainage and stuff like that.
Correct. These were almost anticipated. Anytime you do a sidewalk project, I think there was an addition of some 4-inch, some deletion of some 6-inch, and when you do this without doing survey work and shooting grades, you always have a little bit of extras, because when you cut someone's driveway, we have to ensure there's positive drainage onto the road.
Right.
So we had to go a little further back. So those were the reasons.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? I mean, it looks like the 6 findings from the audit were pretty minor, so, and it looks like they've already been taken, a lot of them have already been, implemented, so great job on that.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Staff's doing an excellent job.
Yeah. Any other comments? Is there a motion, if there are no other comments, is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R 2019-153 through R 2019-158.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Yes. Next on the agenda is items for discussion. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Previously, and I guess over some time, there has been discussion regarding itinerant vendors and the regulation thereof. For the benefit of the public or the viewing public, an itinerant vendor is defined as anybody going door to door or place to place selling goods. Mr. Oostdyke, I'll try to summarize, but obviously you're there so you can amplify if I goof it up. There has been some legal challenges from some companies, primarily out of the state of Texas, regarding the ability to regulate these vendors, because some of the court findings have interpreted the sales to be speech. So, in an essence, free speech. So it's speech, and there's free speech, and therefore we're limited in our abilities to regulate the speech.
Yeah, more common, what we're all familiar with, it started with like the Jehovah's Witnesses and the religious groups challenging ordinances, wanting to go door to door, and the courts were sympathetic to their situation, let them do it. And as time has gone on, the courts have pretty much said selling things is really the equivalent of proselytizing. It's all speech, it's all talk, so they make it very, very difficult to regulate.
So whether
And
it's
just about
good or a
everything,
service or
whatever it is, it
organization.
becomes very hard to separate it and to get really valid regulations. And the problem becomes when you try to regulate it and you're so limited, you end up, people believe that you're doing something, that the town is actually regulating something that we're really not regulating. We're giving people permits, but we're really not doing anything because we can't, because the timeframes we're given to act on are too short. The other thing is police departments have become very hesitant to release information, so even background checks without fingerprints is really very difficult to achieve, any kind of security. So the sense is we give a false impression to the public that we're actually regulating something we can regulate. And, for that reason, I'll turn it back over to Adam. I think the recommendation is come back to minimize our regulation. We talked months ago, I guess,
we
about
talked
this
about
idea.
About a year ago.
Solicitation list.
Having a no solicitation list. There were some concerns about that. This is sort of even a step back from that, saying all we're really going to do is tell people they have to tell us they're here, so the police know who's in town, prove that they are who they
Also,
say they are.
from a safety standpoint, too, people want to, you should know.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that there is no safety.
There really is.
Just because we give them a
Clerk's not-
permit doesn't
clerk's
mean
not
that
checking
you're telling
anything
people,
out.
yeah, open the door to them.
And Carol can chime in, but we're told by vendors that the companies are doing background checks, and then we're learning when we do get background checks, they're not good.
They're not good, right?
I think the sense has been we're really not doing
Right.
anything, and if we're really not doing anything, maybe we shouldn't give that impression to the
We're giving a false sense
public.
of security to people.
And when we discussed this last year, the charge from council after the discussion about the do not solicit ordinance was, okay, figure out a better way to skin this issue, and come back with a recommendation. So as a result, we prepared the ordinance that was...
How about if we got a sticker for people that wanted to put a sticker or a card, no solicitation?
Can't they just buy them in the store?
They can. And this ordinance does add a provision that allows us locally to enforce when people put no trespassing signs or no solicitation signs in front of their homes.
He's going to have a big sign on his front lawn.
Well,
No trespassing.
And for the council's benefit, one of the things that we do receive a fair amount of complaints about is, who are these people? Why are you allowing them to do this? What can we do about this?
Right.
So, should there be a provision like the one that's in the draft ordinance included in ultimately a final ordinance that's adopted, one of the things we can say to people is, okay, you can get a sticker, however that may pan out, and if you don't want people there and they do, you can then call the police. And it can
So
be enforced.
if I put a sticker on my door, hypothetically, I'm on a do not call or do not knock list?
no, you yourself are privately
Okay.
enforcing your right to tell people they cannot come
Right,
by
so I
your
could go
property.
out and buy it, and we have them at my job, no solicitation.
Yes.
Because we get people coming in all the
Yes.
time. And you know what? Most people
Right.
can't read.
And if they can't say it, you go
Right.
out, you point, you say, you're not supposed to be here.
So if somebody, you have that up and it says no solicitation, somebody knocks on your door, you call the police?
Yes.
You can.
You can.
You can.
Or you just tell them to leave.
Call the-
Or just tell them to leave, right.
But yet, don't answer the door.
I was going to say, I
But
usually just...
again, I was more
I like
concerned
slamming the door in
about,
their face.
from a safety standpoint, though.
Yeah, I think, I wouldn't even go down the safety road.
No, I know.
We can't really
We
give
can't.
them.
Right.
No, but I mean, but from the draft ordinance, the people still have to register and they have to have
Correct. Yeah, but it's unenforceable.
ID, so people have a right to ask for that.
Right, but you don't want them to think just
No.
because they registered that we
We
checked this
Right. I agree.
person out. Like,
And I have to
if
I
I
have
saw
to-
something from
totally
the
agree.
town
I totally
at my
agree.
door, I would think, oh, they're town approved.
Well, I had a vendor tell me that, show me it, and say, see, the town says I'm approved. And I
Right.
said, no, they don't.
And
Right,
the, and
you need
the
to
problem
make
with
sure.
that is people think, oh yeah, the town approved him, he must be a nice guy, let me let him in my house.
No, and that's all I'm saying, is that we need to make sure that they realize that they have to take that control themselves about whether they feel
That's right.
comfortable
That's right.
answering the door.
Right, so
But I just want them to be aware.
Right, the bottom line is that it's going to be on the resident to put a no solicitation sign
Correct.
on their front door or wherever.
Right.
And we basically have said that's it.
I would draft something up, but within the boundary of what we can do, and that's what it
we've
is.
done.
That's essentially what you
That's
have in front of
essentially-
you. And the goals that are articulated within or enumerated within my memo are, we wanted to create an ordinance that was compliant with applicable case law. We wanted to create something that required the registration or at least notification with the township. We wanted to empower the residents. And we also want to ensure that we don't have a bazaar of mobile vehicles all over the community. So there's certain language in there to prevent, multiple
That's the other
vendors from
piece of it.
taking
We've
stock.
left in language that we already had, which said on our main thoroughfares, you can't pull over and sell from your vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
And that you can't stay in one place. You can't park something,
Yeah, but-
stay there and sell and set up shop on it.
What about the ice cream truck?
He does neither of those things. He doesn't stay in one place. It continues.
But he'll pull off on the side of the road to
He
sell.
can pull it, and you can here, except you can't on the boulevard. This says you can't on the boulevard, the Turnpike, or Jacksonville Road. I think it's
Chase the
Jacksonville.
ice cream guy away?
I've done it before. And we're in the middle of soccer practice. Get out of here.
All right, so is this something that we want to just say, bring it to our the next council?
If the council's comfortable with it as drafted, we can prepare for introduction and go from there.
Yeah, if everything's in here that we can do, then
Hey, is there,
we're suggesting.
can we talk about showing, wearing some kind of identifiable like a lanyard or something in here?
That's what I was trying to say, can't think.
I think we require the presence of them maintaining the registration, but we don't.
Like even the gas meter guy, he's wearing something now, you know? I think that should be a requirement.
You can add that.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was getting at. They should have something that,
Photo ID?
Well, what we say is any itinerant vendor shall have proof of registration and shall have the personal identification outwardly visible on their person at all times while in
That's that.
Pequannock.
you don't want them
I
to
think that
have,
covers it.
yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
it says outwardly visible.
Right.
So,
Okay, so we're good on that?
Very good.
Any other questions? No?
oh,
Next on the agenda is reports and notices. Any comments? Oh, yeah, we got are we talking about this or not? We're talking about
Sale.
the...
Yeah, the applicable case law requires that the chief financial officer notify the governing body of a note sale that took place. Within the packet is a report that describes the fact that the township recently sold $12,290,000 in notes, which closed on July 17th. Interest rate's approximately 2%. Net interest cost is the basis upon which the award is made, which is better than an 18, which was about 3%.
Sign my life away on that.
Yes, a lot of documents have to be signed by the mayor, but as I noted, it has to be reported by the chief financial officer. If there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
So I guess by doing that, we saved money by going from the 3% to the 2% on the total of the 12 million
Right.
in a
It's
nutshell.
better than it was last year, yes, but essentially the way it works is when the council authorizes an ordinance that includes the issuance of debt, we issue short-term notes, which are annual funding mechanisms. They can be renewed for up to 9 years, and then you have to, after the 10th year, you have to put permanent financing. So this is a way to maintain the cash flow of the township of Pequannock.
Speaking of cash flow, when is our tax bills going out?
Today.
Oh, I mean,
There you go.
We got the rate late last week.
All right, thank you for the bond info. Next on the agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
yes, just a couple things. The Economic Development Committee will meet tomorrow night here in this room. And then next month is when the H2M is going to come and present and talk to economic development about the master plan. One of the things economic development is working on is they've put together a list of confirmed businesses. They're up to about 294 confirmed businesses, so that's good. They're trying to keep that list going, and they'll use that to also send out this survey. There will be a grand opening on Thursday, August 1st at 6 p.m. for a company called, what is it, Forward Motion?
It's a physical therapy.
Physical therapy, located at 167 Newark Pompton Turnpike in Pequannock.
Right next to the Golden Panther Park.
Correct. I will not be here because I'll be away.
I will be there.
So whoever can go, please go to that. And I don't think I have anything else, except I just want to mention to Mr. Brewer, I know you put that new policy in place now for the day memberships, correct? For
July 15th, it went into effect.
Right, July 15th for non-residents, and I think it's changed on the website too, right? Because I just pulled that up. But a non-resident can purchase if they're with a member.
The members still have the ability to bring guests.
Right, okay.
Essentially, when the policy to open it to everybody for day memberships as well as annual memberships and everything in between, guest concepts were eliminated. So we had to fall back to the policy that existed
Okay,
essentially
just
prior.
wanted to make sure.
Any township resident
Yep.
is allowed 5 yes, whether
Yeah.
you're a member or
Member
not.
or not member, they're allowed 5.
Great.
Want to pay the
And
daily
township
rate?
members can pay a daily pass.
Perfect, that's what I was thinking.
And a non-member, or a member who lives out of town that has an annual membership also still.
Okay, great, thank you. Nothing else.
Thank you. Councilman Hurd?
I have nothing.
All right. Councilman Phelan?
Just, so how is everything going at PD Park? Quiet? How's everything going down there? Good?
With the weather, there's been a significant amount of attendance for a lot of people.
We haven't heard any problems, right?
There were 2 problems that were reported out-of-town residents, but they were minor. But, they were addressed and,
The policy was changed.
and we moved on.
Okay.
And there wasn't any, it was just It wasn't an incident per se, it was just people that were behaving in a certain
Yeah.
way. And, there was nothing, it was a callous, but yeah, everything's been going very well.
And I think the membership too, I think is
Yeah.
up. It's
Correct.
good.
Yeah,
I
positive
tell you,
impact of
the couple
events.
times that I've been there, it's been packed.
The weather's been hot. Let's end is hot. Shade Tree did not meet yesterday because of so many trees being down and was canceled, so that's it.
All right. Councilwoman Russell?
Environmental, we met with H2M going over the master plan. It was a very good meeting. We're going to meet again with them in September. The library, the One Read, the books are all out. The library has started a program where you go online and you can order food and it's delivered to the library, then you pick it up. It's all natural from local farms, they said, but it's really tri-state area, mostly New York.
Produce and fruits, and I saw it, looked pretty good.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they get like $1 a bag or something donated to the library. Also want to shout out, congratulations, our 11-year-old boys baseball team won the districts.
All right.
Our girls 12 won the districts. Our girls 10s won sections and went to the state championships. Unfortunately, they lost in the states, but that's huge. And the Pequannock boys baseball summer team won their championship in their bracket.
All right.
And the Pequannock Piranhas won the Pequannock Invitational, which is, that's a really big meet. That's a really competitive meet, and they won the overall.
And I rode by PV Park on Saturday when they had that swim meet there, it was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
Packed. All right, the only thing I have is Councilwoman Lynch, myself, Town Manager Adam Brewer, met last night with the interim superintendent and the Board of Ed president, trying to work out a few things still with the tennis court, so we're waiting to hear back from them regarding the situation there. Right now, they feel that we need to have an attendant present, and that's...
So is this for the summer day?
Yeah, it's been an
July.
ongoing, back and forth with them for the last month, so.
But aren't they redoing those? They're redoing them in like 2 years, right? Isn't that on their plan, to redo them in 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
We might be able to resolve it.
Yeah, we're working on it. And it was-
Summer's almost over. I was up at was it Cedar Knolls and at the high school there, and they had their tennis courts are beautiful, brand new, and all sorts of people were playing on them. You
Now
know
watch out, those balls do damage.
what?
It was a productive meeting last night, so I think it's going to hopefully be rectified and soon. So that's all I have there. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized. Come to the microphone, provide your name and address for the record.
Come on,
Seeing none,
Public is really quiet tonight.
Frank.
there are minutes for approval. The July 9th, 2019 minutes are, anyone, motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from July 9th.
Is there a second? Okay, roll call, all in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, that's good. Next on the agenda is a closed session. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R 2019-159,
I'll make that
authorizing the town council to meet in executive session to discuss contract negotiations related to shared services and matters of attorney-client privileges regarding 90 Village Road? Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? At this time, public portion of the meeting is recessed to closed session.
They're gonna be out of breath.